everybody, welcome back to another planting video. My name is Michelle from Lunaleaf, and today we're going to build some moss poles. I have 3 Monsteras here that I'm going to add to some moss poles. This is my Monstera Tricolour. This new leaf has the biggest fenestrations. It's starting to look more like my Monstera Adansonii mint. I've got my Monstera Esqueleto. This is still in the original nursery soil. And my Monstera Aurea that is looking for something to climb right here. We're going to be using D-shaped moss poles. This is from the brand Thiccly, and this is the Grow Pole 3.0. This is the first time I'm using these moss poles, so I'm excited. First, I'm going to take out a moss pole and see what we're working with. First step, I'm just going to hydrate the moss. I definitely need to get a bigger potting mat. So if anybody has any good leads on potting mats, let me know. I've looked on Amazon, but they're not very cute. So, okay. I'm going to pre-bend. Oh, I think I bent it the wrong way. I don't know if it matters, but almost shot moss into my eye. All right. How cute. I like that it's really small. I noticed that in these moss poles, there's a lot of opening in the front, which will hopefully allow for the plant to be able to root in it really nicely. And it doesn't take up as much moss. So we'll see how that goes. These plants are relatively small still. So I think I'm gonna do my Aurea first. I'm going to be using a soil-free aroid mix that is Coco-peat, perlite, orchid bark, and a little bit of biochar. So kind of experimenting with this soil-free aroid mix. Specifically for my moss poles, because I want a really thick, chunky, draining soil, or medium, I guess, for my moss poles, so that when I water them, the medium where the roots are in will dry out just as quick as the medium, just as quick as the moss. When I'm first starting a moss pole, I always like to put a couple inches of the moss pole into the pot and have it sitting right at the bottom to give it as much support as it needs. All right, I'm just going to fill up a little bit, an inch or so of the bottom of this moss pole with the aroid mix. Like this. And then I'm going to stick the moss pole so it's directly at the bottom of the pot. And put an inch or so of soil. An inch or so at the bottom. Make sure it's nice and snug. This guy is in the same medium, so I'm going to try and be gentle with it. Just kind of reshaping it a little bit. It's got really thick roots, which is good, but we don't need that many in there. You know what? I am going to size up. Okay. My new pot I'm going to put it in, just one size bigger, and put it so that it's flush to the bottom of the pot, and fill up a layer at the bottom. That. And I'm going to take my plant, really nice thick roots, put them in all snug, wrap this guy around. When you're adding a plant to the moss pole for the first time, you want to take these aerial roots that it's trying to form and make sure that it's facing towards the pole so that it can dig into the pole. all snug in there like that. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of garden Velcro and attach it right underneath that first aerial root. Kind of guide it into the moss pole, and then you don't want it to be too tight, but you want it to be nice and snug. And I just noticed that it's pushing out a new. I'm going to put a little sprinkle of slow release fertilizer on top. I like to combine liquid fertilizer and this slow release fertilizer, especially since this is a soilless medium. It needs to have some form of nutrients. And that's it for this one. I'm going to water them all later. That's one done. I don't really like to reuse my soil mediums. I do reuse semi-hydro mix like pond, but I don't really like to reuse this stuff, so I'm just going to stick this into my compost. Okay. This one's next. This is dry. So this is soil, so I'm going to try and take as much the soil off as I can without damaging the plant. Making a mess. Just gonna make this last one now while I have my hands all filled with moss. I like to leave a little room at the top to stick a water bottle in when I water them. All right, I'm gonna use this cup and stick a little bit. Oh, gasped. Okay, I'm just gonna put you down there. I'm just sticking a little piece of garden Velcro on. I'm going to do this one right above. So this guy has a new aerial root poking out from this node right here. So I'm just going to do it right above that one, or maybe below. I'm going to do it right below that. A little sprinkle of slow release fertilizer. And there we go. And 2 down, 1 more to go. Okay, for this one is in semi-hydro mix right now, and it looks really happy. So I'm gonna try to keep it in a semi-hydro mix, but I don't have any more semi-hydro mix, so let's see if I'm able to reuse some of this stuff. This guy's looking super happy. Some really beautiful roots going on. Okay, we'll see if this works. It might be a little bit too squishy. I think this is gonna work. Okay. I'm just going to trim off a couple of these roots so it's easier to stick back into the pot. My daughter just woke up, so I'm just gonna finish this quickly. And just like that. And I'm just going to give them a good soak and then put them in their new places downstairs with all of my other moss poles. Alright, so that's it for today's video. I got all 3 of these guys on their new moss poles. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. I will also include all of the things that I've used in this video in the description below. And thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.